Alright, so the first thing that you have to do is you have to create a directory called Hive. Okay, so sudo -u hdfs hadoop fs. Yes. What do you mean by a pre-recorder? No, it's a free one. Yeah, okay. No worries. So this is the command for us to create a directory called as Hive from the root in HDFS. Okay. Yeah. So let me cross check. Let me open my browser, browse the file system. There you go. So I have a Hive directory that is created for me. Okay, so what next? Once I'm done with that, okay, let me push the same data that I used for pig. If you have seen the videos on YouTube, the same data I'll be using for Hive also. Okay, so I have the data. Let me copy from local. Let me do a copy from local. I think it's in pig file. Yeah. So this is the file name, pig_file.txt, which is there in my local. Let me copy it to the Hive directory. Okay, so that's done. Let me cross check. So I have this pig_file.txt, which is around 3 MB in size, 1 replication, 64 MB block size, and the owner is HDFS. Why? Because I used a sudo -u hdfs command. Okay, let me just quickly open and show to you what the data looks like. So this is how the data that we've already seen in the pig exercise. Okay, okay. Fine. So I have a directory called as Hive, and I have this file called as pig_file.txt, which I'm going to use. The next thing that I'm going to use is I'm going to fire the Hive shell. How do you get inside Hive shell? Let me ask you a question. How do you go inside pig shell? That is the grunt mode. Just type pig, right? In the same way, to get into Hive, all you have to do is type Hive. So once you type Hive, let's see what happens. There you go. So you see a Hive prompt. Okay. Okay. Now the first thing that we've got to do is we've got to create a metadata mapping. What do you want to do on the data? You want to query, right? So let me show the data again. So this is how the data looks like, right? So serial number, comma, book name, comma, year of release, comma, the rating of the book, and some ID of the book. So you want to query. So if you have to query, this is a file. This is not even a table. How do you query a file? You cannot query a file, right? So we have to create a metadata mapping. So let me show to you how you create a metadata mapping. Create table books with a schema. So what is the schema? Serial number, which is an int, comma, I think book name or just the name, comma, no, name is a string. Third one, what is the third one? Third one is the year, rating, and ID. Okay. Year, rating, and ID is again an integer. Okay. So the first line is create table books with the following schema. Serial number is an integer, name is a string, year is a integer, rating is a float, and ID is an integer. Okay, so I just pressed enter so that I jump to the next line. So create table so and so. It's a row format delimited. Okay, so basically I want to create it row by row. Okay, so what would be the next line? So the metadata, it follows this particular schema. Okay, and in this particular schema it is all row by row by row, so that's row format delimited. And so what are the fields terminated by? fields terminated by comma. So the delimiter is a comma, and lines terminated by a new line. So how do you define a line? A new line. So it's /n, right? That's about it. So you end your statement with a semicolon. I have pressed enter. So semicolon indicates the termination of your entire command. Let's see if it's a OK or a not OK. Yes, it is a OK. So just to create a metadata, it has taken 13 seconds, which is crazy. Just ignore this because this is just a pseudo distributor. No. Okay. Now, so I have this table called as books, which is a blank table. The metadata itself is blank. Okay, it's just a dummy table that has been created. I can quickly show that to you as to where it is created. So you might ask me, where is this database of Hive? How do I see it in a file system? So from the data node or from the name nodes UI, that is from the place where you browse your file system, you've got your TMP, right? Temp. Oh, sorry, not TMP, user. You've got your user directory. So just click on the user directory, you have a Hive directory. Click on Hive directory and you have a warehouse directory. So always the tables that you create will sit inside the warehouse directory. So the warehouse directory will always be /user/hive/warehouse. This is a default. This is a given. Okay. Unless and until you want to change it, this is a default value. That all the tables that you create in Hive would fall under /user/hive/warehouse. I did not create it. It got created by itself. Okay. Books. Just now we created this, and you can see that books has been created. But if I click on books, it is empty. Why? Because there is no data in it. As simple as that. There is a table called as books, but the data within it is empty. So the next task that we have to do is we have to load the data from HDFS into this metadata. So basically we have created a metadata which is blank. Now it is time for us to link the data in HDFS to this metadata. Okay. So load data in path. What is the path? /hive/pig. What is the name of the file? pig_file.txt. So load data in path into, what is the name of the table? Books. Okay, into table books. So that is the command. Failed with exception, unable to move to destination. I think it did. I think it's just throwing a dummy error. Let me check. User, Hive, warehouse, books. Oops, no, it did not. Why didn't it do? Okay, let me change the permissions of that particular folder. HDFS folder. What is the current permissions of the pig directory? Sorry, the Hive directory, Hive. Pig file. So the permission of this particular thing is, oops, okay. So it does not have the permission to execute. So it cannot move. I'll tell you what move is basically. Hold on. Sudo -u HDFS Hadoop FS chmod -r 777/Hive. So I'm giving it full permissions. If I refresh this page, okay. Now let me redo it. Let me redo the same command. Load data in path hive pigfile.txt into table books. Permission denied, but wait, the data should yes, but it does not need to have execute permission. It just, I mean, just to move data, it does not require execute. Let me check. Write permission is more than enough. So there you go. The data is there. I don't know why it's showing an error. Okay, hold on. Let me explain what I've just done. So I created a, from my local, I pushed the file called as pigfile.txt to inside a Hive folder which I just created. All right. After that, I gave it 777 permissions. It took read write permission, read write, okay. So there's no execute permission, which is actually not needed, because what it expects is it will move the file from the directory that you mentioned. So load data in path, this directory, right? So it will pick the file called as hive.txt from this file, from this location, and it will move the file to the books table that you just created. Now I told you where books is in your file system, right? It's in this particular directory, /user/hive/warehouse. Whatever table you create, everything will fall under warehouse directory. Okay, so today it might be books, tomorrow it might be cookbook, whatever. Okay, now if I click on books, you can see that pig_file.txt is placed here. So you can see that the data is also here, and the path is user hive warehouse books pig file. Let me go back to the place where I initially stored it. So it was under hive, right? You can see that a directory is an empty directory. So the file that has been placed here has been moved. The directory no longer exists. Sorry, the file no longer exists. Okay, such a thing is called as internal table management. I told you that Hive ships with its own database, didn't I? So what happens is, since you are using Hive's own table, it moves the data as well. So tomorrow when you drop your table, even your data is lost. Okay, so basically if I drop books, the data also is lost. That is, the file also is lost. Okay, there is an option of using external table. Okay, so what is an external table? You can come up with your own databases. You are a fan of MySQL, get your MySQL up and running. We can use MySQL as well. So that is a standalone thing. It is not on top of Hadoop here. It again is a separate entity. Okay, so that database is again used only to store metadata. So basically from Hive, when you hit a query, it hits the MySQL which is outside of Hadoop, and then that passes the data to your MapReduce layer, and then the entire process works. So if at all you are to create an external table, the command would be create external table. That's all. So instead of the create table, we do not indicate an internal table, because if you don't define anything, it is internal by default. So this is another concept that I'd like to tell you now. There are two concepts here. The first concept is the one that is by default. So you intend using Hadoop's, rather Hive's own database management. If you do not like it, as I told you, the drawback is this, that it will move the data as well. Tomorrow when you drop the schema, it will also drop the data. Okay. Now, if you don't like this, you can use a third-party solution. To create a metadata, all you have to do is, for the same command, just write create external table. There is a configuration that you have to do before this, which basically tells that what external table that you want to use and what are the parameters for that particular database. Okay, so it might be a MySQL, it can be Oracle, it can be Teradata, it can be anything. Up to you. It's up to you. Now in this case, what happens is the data will not get moved. So tomorrow, even if you drop the schema, the data still rests in the same place. So what was the place that I had initially stored? /hive/pigfile.txt. So the data will remain in the same place, unlike right now where where the directory /hive is empty because the data has been moved. Okay, fine. So the data is moved. We basically created a table using this command. Let me explain this command. It's pretty simple. Create table books. Okay, I can name it whatever I want. So even though the name of the file is pig_file.txt, I can name the table whatever I want. So let me define the schema here. This is the schema that I'm expecting. The rows how do I segregate the data in terms of rows? So it's a row format delimited. The field separator is a comma and the line separator is a new line, and that's about it. So this basically defines my schema. Once done, I then load my data. Load data in path, this particular file, into, so what is the output? Where do you want to load it? Into table books. Okay, fine. So does the clear command work? No, it doesn't. Okay, so there's no clear command here. I'm sorry, I cannot clear the screen. I probably can do this. Okay. So what shall we do? Let's run the most basic query of all. Select star from books, which is the name of the table, limit 10. There you go. So it's as simple as, it's as simple as that. So you've got all your data here, but as you can see, the data is not curated. You can see that, okay, so here everything seems good, but as I showed to you in the pig exercise, that entire 49,500 rows isn't good. So you can use the output of pig as well, which I will do it in a while. Now this basically is it at the most basic level. So you can write whatever queries you want. So select star from books, where what was the schema that we defined? Rating is greater than 4.0. Now what happens is it launches a MapReduce job. Okay, why does it launch a MapReduce job? Any statement other than the basic select statement will create a MapReduce job. Writing a where clause will create a MapReduce job. There are a lot of things, except for the most basic statement, anything else will create a MapReduce job, right? So as I told you, pig and hive, what are those? They are higher level abstract tools, right? So you're trying to, from the user's perspective, you're trying to skip the use of MapReduce, but these tools will internally use MapReduce. Okay, so you can see that the stage 1 map is 0%, reduce is 0%, and there you go. So this is your data. Okay, so this is 4.2, 4.1, blah blah blah. It was pretty quick, right? Given the particular data set, it might seem like, why is it taking so long? That is 44 seconds it has taken. But let me tell you that given the proper environment and given whatever data it can handle, let's say we are even talking about, like, this is just a 2 MB file, right? Even if the file were 2 GB, it would take more or less a minute. That's about it. So that's the speed of Hadoop. I cannot show you the speed here because it's not big data that we are talking about. The data that I have isn't big data actually, but if at all you have big data, it would take more or less the same time given the proper setup. Setup also plays an important role, right? Okay, so what else? All your SQL statements work, so probably if you can tell me a statement, I can run it and show it to you. Or no, you cannot update. So Hadoop isn't meant for updating, right? So if at all you intend updating, I don't think even HBase, the database, supports update queries as yet. Okay, because when it comes to Hadoop, what do you want to do? You want to mine the data, right? So you are not looking for using it as a regular RDBMS. If it were a regular RDBMS, or if it were used for OLTP, then probably you would require update statements or append queries in a file system and so on. But here you cannot, you wouldn't. Hadoop does not even support it. Okay. So basically what we have done is, where is this data being read from? This is a file, this is not even a table. As I told you, we are reading data from a file, but through a SQL layer on top of it. through by just because we created a metadata. Had we created the metadata in a wrong way, it would not have even been possible for us to query the data. So this is still reading from a file. It's not even in a table. It looks like as if it's reading from a table, but it's just reading from a file. As you can see, I just showed you the file, right? Hold on. Okay, not here. So there's no hold on. So this is the command that I last used. Would you want to tell probably something else? Yeah, so this is the where clause where rating is greater than 4.0. It can be anything, it can account to anything. You can even, I think you can even do a count. So all your SQL queries which adhere to SQL 92 standard will work. Let me try. Can you tell me the query exactly? Select. How do you write a SQL query? I'm sorry, I'm not a pro in SQL. Okay. That's it. Yeah, so seems to be working, because had it been a compilation error, sorry, had it been a syntax error, it would have thrown it. So yes, it does work. So as I told you, it again will launch a MapReduce job for you. So if at all you're interested to have a look at it in a visual way, it does provide you a link which would usually get expired if the job is finished. So map is done 100%. We are waiting for the reduce stage to happen. Does the reduce stage even get triggered here? Yes, there would be a reduce stage. Okay, so 4.5 is your max. Okay, so this is the UI for that particular job. Okay, so more or less it's like this. Let me kind of do the entire workflow and show it to you. Hive is pretty much simple. All you have to do is initially you have to create a metadata. After that, it's your game. If you're a SQL guy, you can just it's your game. So we are out of Hadoop here, so you can normally write your SQL queries whatever you know. Internally it will trigger a MapReduce job. So you're basically skipping the entire Hadoop part. That is, as a user, when you write complex queries, you are skipping. Yes. It did print out, right? Yes, it is needed. See, the number of so it clearly says that the number of reduce tasks determined at compile time is 1. So one reduce task has to happen. So as you can see, the last step was a reduce. Map is 100% and reduce is 100%. So basically reduce percentage, that is reduction step was started at this level only, because after map equal to 0, reduce equal to 0, the next step itself was map equal to 100. Alright. So after that, it was all waiting for reduction to get completed. For some reason it did not print 25%, 50%. It directly showed only 100%. Okay. Okay. So the whole purpose of having Hive is for the end user to skip the entire Hadoop domain, right? So there you go. So you don't even need to have any Hadoop knowledge from this moment on, because you are in Hive, which is completely SQL in nature. Let me do a quick, since we have a lot of time, let me do a quick demo as to how do you integrate Pig data and Hive data. Pig, not big, Pig. pig's output and hive. So let me jump into pig. I will redo the same last exercise that I did in the video, but this time I will store the filtered data. Last time I did not just store it, I just printed it. This time I will store the output, and that output I will query it using Hive. So that is how it usually happens in real time. I have all my queries in my history. That's great. Okay, so let me clear the screen. Okay, this is the first command, a equal to load pig underscore file.txt using pig storage comma as the particular schema that I intend to. As you know, the first time it does throw you a warning, so this time it's all clean. Okay, so a equal to load. The next step is to do a b. So b is not necessary in my opinion because we're not doing anything with it. Let me jump directly to C. So C equal to filter the output of A by rating is not equal to null. Alright. Okay, then I'll have to use D where filter C by rating greater than 3.5. Okay. And E, group D by column name 3. What's called? I think it's rating. Okay, now this is the last step that I want to do. Store E. What is the command? Store E in, I guess. I might be wrong. Let me check. In slash pig slash output using pig storage. I want a comma delimiter file. Or let me use a semicolon delimiter file. Oops. Error. Line 6, column 8. In is not the keyword. What is the keyword? Store E. Okay, let me do a quick Google. I don't remember the syntax. Store E. Okay, just hang on guys. Let me quickly do a Google. Yes. Just by using the up and down arrows in your keyboard. So same as HDFS, even during HDFS, that's how we went back and forth, right? Yep, store. Okay, so I have this, oops. Yeah, store. So into, what did I use? I just used in, is it? Okay, so that's the problem. Into. Okay, so store the variable E into slash pig slash output using pig storage, and the delimiter that I'm expecting in the output file is a semicolon. So now it again is showing me the console wherein it would run a MapReduce job for me. So basically what is E? If just a quick recall, A is just dumping the file as is into the variable A. B is nothing, we are not using B here. C is what was C? I think C was filtering rating is not equal to null, and D was filtering rating greater than 3.5, and E was ID is not null, I believe, and the job is a failure. Let me check what went wrong. Group filter failed. Failed to read data from pig file.txt, failed to produce result. Wow, how's that possible? Okay, I do have my data, it just needs to read, so the permission is all fine, permissions don't matter. Is the file readable? Yes, it is very much readable. It says failed to read data. Why? Let me just cross check, because it says it's failed to read, but if at all it has failed to read, it should show me right away, right? So let me do a dump statement. Let me run a dump statement. I'm just limiting it by 10 because I don't want the entire data to be printed in my console. So I should be just seeing 10 records. It seems to be extremely slow. Okay, now it's running fine. Just hold on guys, I'm getting a call. Hello? Hello? Hey, சொல்டா. Yeah, ஆமாம் மச்சான் எங்கே இருக்க? சரி ஓகே, நான் கொஞ்ச நேரத்தில் ஃபோன் பண்ணிட்டா. ஓகே பாய். Okay, just hang on guys. Okay, so I've got the data. I think it's working. So it is able to read my data. I don't know why it's throwing an error. So let me rerun. A is done. filter A by rating is not equal to null and rating is greater than guys, are you able to see the screen? Yeah, okay. Rating is greater than, no, let's not have that filter, and ID is not null. So just let's have data where there are no nulls present. I believe there are no nulls in the first 3 columns, so I'm only doubting the last 2 columns. Okay, so it's good. Fine. So if I were to dump C, let me check if it's able to create data. If it's able to create the data, then there should be no problem storing the data. Yeah, so it is printing the data. Now it should store. Let me try again. What was the variable that I used? C. Right. Okay. So store C into is the output directly creating a problem? Let me check. /pig. Let me not give an output directly for it. Store C into pig using pig storage. Okay, so it cannot store, it has to create a new directory. Fine. So so pig output should be fine. So I'm asking pig to store or to create a directory called as /pig/output and to store the output of C into this particular directory using a semicolon delimiter as the delimiter. So let's see, the last time I ran it, it threw me an error. The same command, let me check. Failed. Okay, so oops, some job has failed. Specify stop on failure if you want to stop it. It doesn't throw me any other error, does it? No, it does not. What could be the possible reason? So for sure there is no directory that has been created. Let me give it a new directory. In the meanwhile, let me just check the permissions for this directory. Oops. Okay. Success. The problem at the previous level was the permissions, guys. I just saw it. So you can see that the permissions, it does not have read-write access. So only HDFS has. Only HDFS has read-write execute permission. Others only have read and execute. There is no write permission that is mentioned here. So had there been write permission, it would have created a directory called as output within pig. So that was an issue. My bad, I'm sorry. Anyway, so you've got this output directory here, and you've got your output of the map reduce job here. So you can see that this data is free of nulls, and nulls in the rating side and in the ID side. So now let's use this directory, let's use this particular data for Hive. So let me quit it. Okay, let me jump into Hive. Let me clear the screen. Let me jump into Hive. Okay, so I want to see what happens if I run min, because there is null in this particular data. I mean the same previous data that we were talking about. What would happen if I run a min? Would it throw an error, or how is it? Unable to fetch table books, right? So user Hive warehouse, there is books, right? Oh, I've got the data. That's strange. Okay, so let me try creating another table with the same command using another table name. If you're wondering, I'm just using a Control-Shift-C and a Control-Shift-V, guys. Wow, what's wrong with Hive? Okay, seems good. Semantic exception, unable to fetch table books. Unable to instantiate. I think there's some problem with task client execution. Okay, so I have this particular thing already here. Hang on, I'll close this. So the problem was you cannot use two commands simultaneously, guys. I did not check it in the first place. Again, my bad. So one of the few restrictions of having a pseudo distributed cluster. Okay, so this seems to be working fine. Now the one that I want to do is I want to do a minimum, right? So let's check whether this command will work or not. Okay, so semantically it is all fine, we know that. The reason why I'm checking is I have a few rows where the rating is a null, so I'm not quite sure if it would throw me an exception, or would SQL or HQL as we call it is smart enough to ignore the nulls and show me the lowest value. I was having two command lines open. So the Hive prompt was already open here. I did not exit from here. I was trying to open it from another terminal as well. So that was the issue. I did not check whether it was open here. So that's the problem. Okay, so I think it's pretty much smart enough. I want to create an issue with this particular data, Vijay. Can you probably help me on this? I mean, see, basically what I want to do is, I have a lot of nulls in this particular data that I'm dealing with. Can you tell me one command wherein I'm expecting a failure? What can I do? What is a command that I can run that would create a failure? So that's something that I want to do. When I tried the min command, even though there were a few nulls, it was smart enough to show me just the lowest and not the null. So I have a few nulls. How do I show? How do I see? I think I can probably do this, right? So I can do a select star from where ID is this. Select rating. It would just throw me a null, is it? I don't know. Select rating from books. Oh, where rating is null. What do you want me to do? Select star from. No, I want the whole command line to cause a failure. No, not syntactically. Logically it should fail. Syntactically, I don't want it to fail. Oh, okay, cool. So let this run. I don't want to interrupt this, and then I'll do that. Sure, I'll do that. So there you go. So these many rows have got nulls in their rating fields. Really? These many? I think it's printing everything. No? Okay, so I've got a null, I've got a null. Oh yeah, so everything, I mean whatever is null, it is printed. Okay, fine. Now select rating divided by 0, is it? Is this the right syntax? Oops. Okay, so this time I'm not expecting any reduce phase to happen because there is no where clause. Infinity, okay, so that is what it shows. Fine. So that's pretty much about it. So let me use the data that I got it from PIC this time, okay? So what I have to do is, let me create a new table called as new book or something. Row format delimited. What is the syntax? Rows terminated by. Okay, so fields terminated by comma and lines terminated by new line. Okay, so load data in path using store reg. No, it's not a comma, it's a semicolon if I'm not wrong. Let me check. So the file that we have is inside output part m, and the delimiter, because I asked it to insert a semicolon, it did insert a semicolon. And this is the file that I am looking at. So it's a semicolon and the file name is this. Load data in path using PIC storage. What is the syntax? Oh, sorry. There's okay. Okay, after a lot of tries, this is the final syntax. Into table, new box. So there is no string colon separator. Fine. This is strange because I could have written the same command using a limit statement, wherein that time it would not have triggered a map reduce job, but since I'm just using a where clause, it is using a map reduce job. Fine. What happened? Wow. The data didn't get loaded. Output part and into table new underscore box. This is the file name. The data is moved for sure because I don't find it any longer in output. So in output there is no file, it has been moved. So I have to go to the user, Hive, warehouse, new books, part N, and I've got the data. What's wrong? Okay, fields terminated by a comma which was wrong. So the field, okay. Now just see this, the mistake that I did was I gave the delimiter as a comma which is wrong. It should have been a semicolon. Now if I happen to drop new underscore books, the data would also be dropped. Okay. Now if I happen to run this, it says, boss, what are you doing? So just hold on. So it's user slash hive slash warehouse. You don't see the particular table. Not only do you see the table name, but you also don't see the data that was inside it. So basically the entire pig command that you ran, the output is lost. So this is one of the disadvantages of using the internal table. So internal hive tables. Okay, so nothing much guys, this is pretty much it. I just want to show you as to if at all I import that, I mean I can import that as well, and I can run the data. That is how usually it will be. Usually you will take some crap data, you will use pig and you will kind of filter it, and then you will run it using hive. You will query it using hive. So this is how it will be. If you want, I can just run the last statement again. I mean I'll store it again, I'll do it properly, and I'll show it to you this time. In the meanwhile, let me create a table. So create table, new books. So the only change is having a semicolon there. What is the problem? Okay, so it's not taking a semicolon now. And even an escape doesn't work. Okay, so it doesn't accept a semicolon, but how do I use it? I have to use some escape characters, and this is the usual Java notation. Nope, this is not the escape character that it is expecting. I've got my output ready, but yes, I am. Okay, just for the sake of simplicity, I can use probably some other delimiter. Anyway, so I think you get the entire notion of things, right? So it's pretty simple. For some reason I'm not able to figure out what the escape character is. Let me try it for one last time. No, this I already tried and didn't work, right? Oh, okay, cool. So it did work. Fine. Okay, so there is a table. Now let me try loading the data. No, it did not again get created properly. Ah, come on. Okay, so the problem is when I ran this particular statement, it is assuming that the delimiter itself is slash and semicolon. It is not treating it as an escape character for some reason. Okay. Fine. So yes, I did try. It doesn't seem to work that way either. Fine, so I'll figure out what the escape character is and how do you define it, but that's pretty much about it. So basically the context is you have to use the output of a pig into a hive. So have I, if at all I were to use, the final thing in a comma, you would be able to see it. So let me go back to the good old comma. Okay. Okay, so now it should work. There you go. So now you will not have any nulls. So I'm basically, in this way, I'm basically using the output of the pig query that we used. So So basically I shouldn't be seeing any output in this case, because there is no rating which is as null. Yeah, so as you can see, there is no output. The reason being, the rating is null returns a blank statement because we've already done the necessary filtrations in the pig level, right? So that's how it is. So you're basically feeding the output of a hive table into pig output into hive table. So that's pretty much about it, guys. Unless not you have certain questions, that's pretty much from my end. Go to applications menu, and on the top you'll find number. In the second position you'll find terminal emulator. Okay, hold on. So where are you? I mean, where are you stuck at right at this point? Okay, let me show it to you. Yes, I'll just show it to you. Just give me a second. Okay, cool. No worries. I'll show it to you. I'm saving the state of the virtual box right now. Once it's done, so assume this is your Windows box and you've opened your virtual machine. Okay, so let me end it right now.